The third Amaravikapadifthi. 64. What is the third reason that causes respected samanas and brahmanas to be elusive, to evade questions put to them on any matter and to speak in ambiguous terms? In this world, because a certain samana or brahmana does not understand correctly what is merit or what is demerit. He thinks thus: I do not understand correctly what is merit or what is demerit. If I were to say what is merit, without really understanding it as being merit, or what is demerit, without really understanding it as being demerit, those samanas and brahmanas who are learned, subtle, well-versed in other creeds, skilled in saying things straight to the point, like a skillful archer able to split the tail hair of an animal, and who are given to smashing all other views by their knowledge, might question my views, ask reasons for them, and pass strictures on them. If they should thus question me, ask for reasons and pass strictures on my views, I might not be able to give them an adequate reply. In that case it would cause me distress. Such distress might be harmful to me. Such distress would be a very serious obstacle in my path to higher rebirths and achievement of maggas and phalas. He who thus fears and detests such questioning declines to say what is merit or what is demerit. If he were asked to answer the question, as to what is merit, or what is demerit, he would reply, I don't take it this way, neither do I take it that way, and I don't take it the other way, neither do I take it not this way, not that way, not the other way, and, also, I don't take it that it is otherwise, because this is the third possibility. It is based on this reason that some samanas and brahmanas who are elusive evade questions put to them on any matter and speak in ambiguous terms. 12 plus 3 equals 15. The fourth Amaravikapadifthi. Note: 31 bhimas. According to Buddhism, there are 31 bhimas. A bhimi means an abode, where beings live. Bhim is sometimes translated as plane of existence, or realm. 20 Brahma, higher celestial bhumas, Artha Brahmas, Brahmas with mind and no body, live in 4 Arupa Brahmo bhumas. Rupa Brahmas, with mind and body, live in 15 Rupa Brahma bhimas. Asafafaya Sata Brahmas, Rupa Brahmas with body and no mind, live in the Asajafaya Sata Brahma bhimi. Brahmas are superior to Devas. 6 Deva, celestial, bhimas. Devas live in the 6 Deva bhimas. 1 Manusa, human, bhimi. Human beings live in this Manusa bhimi. 4 Apaya, nether, bhimas. Niraya, beings in realms of continuous suffering. Tirakana, animals. Peta, miserable and ever-hungry beings. Ajrikyas, miserable and frightened beings, live in these 4 bhimas. 4 types of birth. According to Buddhism, there are 4 types of birth. They are: A. Andaja, oviparous; B. Jalabuja, viviparous; C. Samsadaja, moisture sprung; D. Upapataka, fully fledged birth. 3. Upapataka. In the case of Brahmanas, Devas, Ajrikyas, Petas and Nirayas, as soon as Patisandhi mind, first mind of the new life, takes place, they, unlike humans and animals, attain full maturity. They appear as fully fledged beings. This kind of birth is called Upapataka birth. Unlike Jalabujas, Upapatakas do not leave behind dead bodies when they die. Simultaneously with their death, their bodies disappear. The birth of beings in these 31 bhimas takes place in accordance with their kammas. Kamma is the abbreviated term for deeds, words and thoughts, which one has done, spoken and conceived. 4. Bad kammas. Killing, stealing, satisfying one's sensual desire by improper means, committing adultery and taking intoxicants are improper means, telling lies, setting one against another, using rough and abusive words, indulging in unbeneficial talk, covetousness, anger, having faith in wrong beliefs. These are bad kammas. They can cause one to have rebirths in the 4 apayabhimas. Good kammas. Charity and self-control to refrain from doing and saying what is evil. These are good kammas. They can cause one to have rebirths in devabhimas. Better kammas. 4 rupajanas, refined mental states of concentration, which one will gain as a result of practicing samatha bhavana. They are better kammas. They can cause rebirths in Rupa Brahmabhimas. 7. Best kammas. 4. maggas and philas which one will gain as a result of practicing vipassana bhavana. They will enable one to perceive nibbana, endless rebirths. Extinction of rebirths will cause one to gain freedom from dukkha. 63. What is the fourth reason that causes respected samanas and brahmanas to be elusive, to evade questions put to them on any matter and to speak in ambiguous terms? In this world, because a certain samana or brahma is lacking in wisdom and is very bewildered, he evades questions put to him on any matter and speaks in ambiguous terms, in the following manner, as he is lacking in wisdom and is very bewildered. If I were asked, is there another world? And if I took it that there is, I should answer, there is another world. But I would not say this way, nor that way, nor the other way, neither would I say not this way, not that way, not the other way, nor would I say otherwise. If I were asked whether there is not another world, whether there is, and also is not, another world, whether there neither is, nor is not, another world, a broken bar, whether there is Upapattika birth of beings, whether there is no Upapattika birth of beings, whether there is, and also there is not, Upapattika birth of doings, whether it is not that there is, and also there is not, Upatpadka, dirt of deems, whether a good or a bad karma produces results, whether a good or a bad karma produces no results, a broken bar where it is that a good or a bad karma produces results, and also does not produce results, whether it is not that a good or a bad karma produces results, and also does not produce results, whether there is life after death. 1. Literally, whether a sentient being exists after death, whether it is not that there is life as well as no life after death. And if I took it that it is not that there is life as well as no life after death, I should answer, it is not that there is life as well as no life after death. But I would not say this way, nor that way, nor the other way, neither would I say not this way, not that way, not the other way, nor would I say otherwise, because this is the fourth possibility. It is based on this reason that some samanas and brahmanas who are elusive evade questions put to them on any matter and speak in ambiguous terms. 12 plus 4 equals 16. 66. Because these are the four reasons that cause those samanas and brahmanas to be elusive, to evade questions put to them on any matter and to speak ambiguously. Because, when any of the samanas and brahmanas who are elusive evade questions put to them on any matter, all of them do so either for these four, or any one of the four, reasons and not for any other reason. The Tathagata knows, as in paras 59 and 60. Anyone wishing to praise correctly the true virtues of the Tathagata should do so in terms of these dhammas. 2 Doctrines of non-casualty. Adhikasamappanavada. 67. There are, because, some samanas and brahmanas who, holding the doctrine of non-casualty, propound in two ways that atta as well as loka arises without a cause. On what authority and on what basis do those respected samanas and brahmanas propound in two ways that atta as well as loka arises without a cause? The first Adhikasamappanavada. 68. There are, because, brahmas who are known as asaphafaya satta, beings devoid of saphafaya, lit. Perception. Here, the commentary says, mind and mental concomitants are meant. When these Brahmans pass away from that realm, they are, 44 Silakhandavaga, reborn in a sensual existence with Saphind. There is a possibility that when a being thus passes away from that realm, he is reborn in this human world. Having been thus reborn, he renounces the worldly life for the homeless life of a recluse. He then achieves utmost mental concentration by dint of ardent, steadfast, persevering exertion, mindfulness and right attentiveness. When he has thus established his mind in highest concentration, he can recollect the arising of sathafaya, birth-linking consciousness, in the present existence, but cannot recollect beyond that. He says thus, atta as well as loka arises without a cause. Why can I say so? I can say so because formerly I was not in existence, but now I actually exist although I had not existed before. Because this is the first possibility. It is based on this that some samanas and brahmanas, holding the doctrine of non-casualty, propound that atta as well as loka arises without a cause. 16 plus 1 equals 17. The second Adhikasamappanavada. 69. Secondly, because, On what authority and on what basis do the respected Samanas and Brahmanas, holding the doctrine of non-casualty, propound that eta as well as loka arises without a causes? In this would, because a certain Samanas and Brahmanas is given to logic and investigation. He uses various methods of reasoning, conducts investigations and gives his views thus: eta as well as loka arises without a cause. This, because, is the second possibility. It is based on this that some Samanas and Brahmanas, holding the doctrine of non-casualty, declare that eta as well as loka arises without a cause. 16 plus 2 equals 18. 70. Because those Samanas and Brahmanas who hold the doctrine of non-casualty demonstrate on these two grounds that eta as well as loka arises without a cause. When any of the Samanas and Brahmanas who hold the doctrine of non-casualty demonstrate that eta as well as loka arises without a cause, all of them do so on these two, or one of the two, grounds and on no other ground. The Tathagata knows, as in paras 59-60. Anyone wishing to praise correctly the true virtues of the Tathagata should do so in terms of these dhammas. 71. Because those Samanas and Brahmanas who speculate on the past and who adhere to views relating to it assert in these 18 ways their many and varied wrong views about the past. Because when any of those Samanas and Brahmanas who speculate on the past and adhere to views relating to it declare their many and varied wrong views about the past, all of them do so in these 18, or one of the 18, different ways and in no other way. Because the Tathagata knows the destination, the next existence in which one holding these 18 views would be reborn, if these views are thus held on to. If these views are thus grasped, the Tathagata knows these 18 views. He also knows the Dhamma which surpasses them. Knowing that Dhamma, he does not view it in the wrong way. Since he does not view it in the wrong way, he realizes by himself the extinction of defilements, that is, greed, anger, and ignorance of the four Araya truths. Because, since the Tathagata rightly knows the arising of feeling, Vedana, and its cause, the cessation of feeling and its cause, its pleasantness, its faults, and freedom from attachment to it, he becomes liberated without any clinging. He realizes Nibbana. 73. Thus, because these are the Dhammas which are profound, hard to see, hard to comprehend, tranquil, noble, surpassing logic, subtle and intelligible only to the Ariyas. The Tathagata has set them forth after realization of these Dhammas by himself through Sabbajathi Uttanana, perfect wisdom. Anyone wishing to praise correctly the true virtues of the Tathagata should do so in terms of these Dhammas. End of the second portion for recitation. 44 Views relating to the future. Apantanu Difthi. 74. There are, because certain Samanas and Brahmanas who speculate on the future and adhere to beliefs relating to it. They assert in 44 ways their many and varied wrong views relating to the future. On what authority and on what basis do these respected Samanas and Brahmanas speculate on the future, adhere to beliefs relating to it, and declare them in 44 ways? 16 kinds of belief in the existence of Sana after death. Adamaganika Sathafavada. T.S. There are, because certain Samanas and Brahmanas who believe in the existence of Safa after death. They declare in 16 ways their belief in the existence of Atta with Safand after death. On what authority and on what basis do these respected Samanas and Brahmanas, believing in the existence of Atta with Safya after death, demonstrate in 16 ways the existence of Atta with Sanfa after death? 76. They declare that 1. Atta is corporeal, it does not decay after death and ilnas sanal sisai sirkakanagendius. This view is held by a person who has attained arupajana and who takes as Atta the purified mental image, Pathibhaganamita, which is the object of his jhana consideration. This purified mental image is taken by him as having the nature of corporeality because of its similarity to the original kasina object of meditation, or because it has the nature of changeability, as it is small before being enlarged mentally and as it becomes 1. Safina, lit. Perception. In most cases it stands for mind and mental concomitants. Large when expanded mentally. The jhana mind which is concentrated on this purified mental image is taken by this person to be Safafaya, and thus he believes that the atta identified with the purified mental image has sattva. However, a person who believes in atta and who has not attained any jhana just takes it through some sort of reasoning that atta is corporeal and has sattva. Both these two kinds of persons firmly believe that after death in the present existence atta is not subject to decay or disintegration, and therefore is eternal, or that, too, after is incorporeal, it does not decay after death. And Unas, Sansides Mashas Mu said, this view is held by one who has attained an arupa jhana and whose object of jhana concentration is some abstract thing such as akasa or space. This abstract object of concentration is taken by him as atta. Such objects of jhana concentration, being abstract, do not have the nature of corporeality. The arupa jhana mind concentrating on such an object is taken as safina. Thus, this atta has sattva and is eternal, or that. 3. Atta is both corporeal and incorporeal. This view held by a person who first attains artipa jhana and believes in the corporeality of atta, through concentrating on the purified mental image of a kekasina object. Then, after progressing further in concentration, when he attains an arupa jhana, he comes to believe also that the atta identified with the abstract object of arupa jhana, concentration is incorporeal, or that. 4. Atta is neither corporeal nor incorporeal. This view is held by a person who has not attained any jhana, and who has heard such a statement from others or who has thought it out on his own. Or that. 3. Alaties janles at. This view is held by a person who believes in the finiteness of the world, loka, as represented by the purified mental image, Abhidhamma, of the kasina object of meditation. As in para 54, this purified mental image is at first of the same size as the original kasina object. When much stronger concentration is gained, the purified mental image can be mentally enlarged and expanded, either before or after jhana, in one of three ways: with finite limits or endlessly, that is, without finite limits or with finite limits vertically, and endlessly without finite limits horizontally. Here the person concerned has mentally enlarged the purified mental image, Abhidhamma, within finite limits, and he takes this enlarged and defined image itself as atta. Thus he says atta is finite, it does not decay after death, and it has safina. In para 54, the person concerned was speculating about the past. Here the person concerned is speculating about the future. The same applies to the next three persons, or that. 6. After one is infinite. This view is held by a person who has mentally expanded the purified mental image endlessly, or that. 7. Atta is both finite and infinite. This view is held by a person who has mentally expanded the purified mental image with definite limits vertically and endlessly without definite limits horizontally, or that. 8. Atta is neither finite nor infinite. This view is held by a person who has not attained any jhana, but who may have come to this conclusion either through his own reasoning or because he has heard the contradictory views above, or that. 9. Atta has only one kind of sattva. This view is held by a person who is immersed in jhana. While immersed in jhana, he takes the mind as atta, and that atta being concentrated on only one object of jhana concentration, he believes that atta has only one kind of sattva, or that. 10. Atta has various kinds of sattvas. This view is held by a person who, not being immersed in any jhana, is conscious of several kinds of objects of senses. Thus he believes atta as various kinds of sana, or that. 11. Atta has limited sattva. This view is held by a person who has attained jhana, but who has not mentally enlarged the purified mental image of the kasina object, which therefore appears to him to be small or limited. His jnana concentrates on this small or limited mental image as its object, and he takes the jhana mind or sattva as atta, and he concludes that atta has a small or limited sana. Other persons believe that atta itself is as small as a thumb, or a paddy seed, or an atom, and therefore atta has a small or limited sattva, or that. 12. Atta has unlimited samma. This view is held by a person whose jhana concentration has as its object the purified mental image which has been mentally enlarged or expanded by him, and who therefore concludes that Atta has a very large or unlimited sana. Other persons believe that Atta exists in every animate or inanimate thing, and thus it has immeasurably numerous sana percent silakhandavaga, or that 13. Afta indeed has this view is held by a person who has attained the divine power of sight, Dabakaku Abhafafaya, and who by this power sees those in the three lowest rupabhamas abiding in jhana and experiencing blissful sensation. He therefore concludes that Atta indeed has and will have bliss, or that 14. Atta indeed has suffering. This view is held by a person who through divine power of sight sees those in the abodes of intense continuous suffering. He therefore concludes that Atta indeed has and will have suffering, or that 15. Atta has both happiness and suffering. This view is held by a person who sees being in the human world experiencing both happiness and suffering, or that 16. Atta has neither happiness nor suffering. It does not decay after death, and it has sathafaya. Here, neither happiness nor suffering means equanimity. This view is held by a person who through the divine power of sight sees the Vafala Brahmas who are given to abiding in the jhana of equanimity. 18 plus 16 equals 34. 77. Because these are the 16 ways in which those samanas and brahmanas who believe in the existence of sathafaya after death declare their belief in the existence of atta with saphania after death. When any of those samanas and brahmanas who believe in the existence of saphaya after death demonstrate the existence of afta with saphid after death, all of them do so in these 16, or in one or other of these 16 ways and in no other way. The Tathagata knows, as in para 72. 73. If anyone wishes to praise correctly the true virtues of the Tathagata, he should do so in terms of these dhammas. 78. Brahmajala Sutta 8 kinds of belief in the non-existence of sathafaya after death. Adhamagadanika Asafifat Vada. There are, because, some samanas and brahmanas who believe in the non-existence of sathafaya after death. They declare in 8 ways their belief in the existence of atta devoid of sathafaya after death. On what authority and on what basis do those respected samanas and brahmanas, believing in the existence of atta devoid of sathafat after death, demonstrate in 8 ways their belief in the existence of atta devoid of saphaya after death? 79. That, or that, they declare 1. Atta is corporeal, it does not decay after death, and it has no saphya. This view is held by a person who, like the person in item 1 of para 76, takes the Pratibhaganamita as atta, and believes that atta is corporeal and eternal. But this person sees those who have reached after death the asaphafaya satta Brahma realm, with only body and no mind, and thus he believes that atta has no saphina after death. 2. Atta is incorporeal, it does not decay after death, and it has no sathafaya. This view is held by a person who takes as atta the sathafaya khanda, the aggregate of perception, from amongst the 5 aggregates or khandas, as there is no other kind of saphya apart from this saphya khanda. This person takes it that there is no saphid after death, or that 3. Atta is both corporeal and incorporeal. This view is held by a person who takes as atta all the aggregates of physical and mental phenomena, including sapha, and as this atta has no additional sathafaya apart from saphanakhanda, either before or after death, he takes it that there is no saphana after death, since he is speculating about future existence, or that 4. Atta is neither corporeal nor incorporeal. This view is held by a person who has either heard it from other persons, or thought it out on his own, or that 5. Atta is finite. This view is held by a person who takes as atta the purified mental image of which he has not mentally enlarged or expanded. As this purified mental image of the kasina object does not have saphina, the person takes it that there is no saphna after death, or that 6. Alta is infinitao broken bar, or that 7. Atta is both finite and infinite, or that 8. Atta is neither finite nor infinite, it does not decay after death, and it has no sanfa. These 3 views, 6, 7, 8, may be interpreted on the lines of views 6, 7, 8 of para 76, except that here atta is taken as having no saffya. 18 plus 16 plus 8 equals 24 plus 42, 80. Because those samanas and brahmanas who believe in the existence of atta devoid of saffad after death demonstrate in these 8 ways their belief in the existence of atta devoid of saffya after death. Because when any of the samanas and brahmanas propound their belief in the existence of atta devoid of sana after death, all of them do so in these 8, or one of the 8, ways and in no other way. The Tathagata knows. As in paras 72, 73. Anyone wishing to praise correctly the true virtues of the Tathagata should do so in terms of these dhammas. 8 kinds cf. Belief in the existence of neither saffafad nor non-saffya after death. Adhammagudanika nevasifafavada. 81. There are, because, some samanas and brahmanas who believe in the existence of neither saffafad nor non-saffafayat. They declare in 8 ways their belief in the existence or atta in a state of neither saffafad nor non-saffafaya after death. On what authority and on what basis do those respected samanas and brahmanas, believing in the existence of neither sanfaya nor non-safina after death, demonstrate in 8 ways their belief in the existence of atta in a state of neither saffafaya nor non-saffafad after death? They declare that 1. Atta is corporeal, it does not decay after death, and it has neither saffafaya nor non-saffafaya. This view is held by a person who maintains that as saffafad is extremely weak at the moment of death and at the moment of conception in the next existence, saffafaya cannot be said to exist definitely, nor can it be said to not exist since it still exists in a very delicate and refined form. Thus atta has neither sama nor saffafaya. 1.t, non-sana, or that. 2. Atta one's incorporeal, 0, or that. 3. Atta is both corporeal and incorporeal, or that. 4. Atta is neither corporeal nor incorporeal, of that plus, alta 18 tine, or that. 6. Atta is infinite, or that. 7. Atta is both finite and infinite, or that. 8. Atta is neither finite nor infinite, it does not decay after death, it has neither saffafaya nor non-saffafaya. 18 plus 244 plus 8 equals 32 equals 50. Perception. Here it stands for mind and mental concomitants. See para 68, thus. Saffafaya may be rendered a consciousness. 83. Because those samanas and brahmanas who believe in the existence of neither saffaifa nor non-saffā after death demonstrate in these 8 ways their belief in the existence of atta in a state of neither saffya nor non-saffana after death. Because when any of the samanas and brahmanas who believe in the existence of neither saffafad nor non-saffina after death propound their belief in the existence of atta in a state of neither saffaifa nor non-saffaifa after death, all of them do so in these 8, or one of the 8, ways and in no other way. The Tathagata knows. As in paras 72, 73. Anyone wishing to praise correctly the true virtues of the Tathagata should do so in terms of these dhammas. 7 kinds of belief in annihilation. Achitavada. 84. There are, because, some samanas and brahmanas who believe in annihilation. They declare in 7 ways their belief in the annihilation, destruction and, future, non-existence of beings presently living. On what authority and on what basis do those respected samanas and brahmanas declare in 7 ways their belief in the annihilation, destruction and, future, non-existence of beings presently living? 85. In this world, because, a certain samana or brahmana asserts and holds the following view. Friend. This atta is corporeal, made up of 4 great primary elements born of the union of father and mother, annihilated and destroyed on the dissolution of the physical body, and it does not exist after death. In this manner, this atta becomes entirely extirpated. Thus do some declare the belief in the annihilation, destruction and, future, non-existence of beings presently living. 1. 18 plus 32 plus 1 equals 33 equals 51.